News from around the globe. Hot, fresh, balanced and objective. On Unity.
Hello and welcome to News Hour on Unity TV. The headlines: Tinubu presents economic plans to stakeholders at NESG Presidential Dialogue. CBN threatens prosecution over rejection of old Naira notes. PDP said February 25 date for presidential and National Assembly elections remains sacrosanct. And on the foreign scene, Ghana increases salaries by 30% amid economic woes. And those were the headlines, and for details and more of the stories, I am Rukayat Sani Ibrahim. Presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has assured of a private sector-driven economy if elected president. Tinubu gave this assurance while presenting the comprehensive economic plan to stakeholders at a presidential dialogue organized by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group (NESG) in Lagos on Friday. The APC candidate stressed the need to end the fuel subsidy regime, insisting that it has overstayed. He, however, noted that before economic recovery could be achieved, the nation must be secured, stating that first, to achieve the economic we seek, we must resolve the pressing security issues. No nation can flourish with terrorists and kidnappers in their midst. Tinubu also reiterated his resolve to urgently address the fiscal, monetary and trade reforms to effectively increase domestic production immediately after he resumes office, serving to curb imported inflation and to ensure better macroeconomic stability by accelerating inclusive growth and job creation across Nigeria. On what he will do within the first 100 days if elected, Tinubu said he would hit the ground running by selecting a team of technocrats that will help him run the country as he did when he was governor. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has threatened to prosecute anyone that rejects the old Naira note as a means of payment for national financial transactions in the country before the morning of 1st of February 2023. This is just the Apex Bank in the Nigerian economy also disclosed that the Department of State Service DSS and other security intelligence agencies are vigilantly watching to arrest and prosecute anyone caught attempting to counterfeit the newly redesigned Naira notes. CBN's head of the Abeokuta branch, Alhaji Wahab Oseni, stated these were addressing traders, the electronic system operators and other stakeholders during the bank's sensitization exercise held at the popular Kutu market in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Speaking at the sensitization exercise, which witnessed a convergence of several market leaders from the different commodities, Oseni said that the sensitization was targeted at easing the bottlenecks likely to be encountered at the expiration of the January 31st deadline, as well as allay the rumor making the rounds that the redesigned Naira notes are bleaching. Stressing the redesigning of the entire Naira notes are long overdue, Oseni said the laws empowering the CBN to manage the country's currency demanded that such exercise should be carried out in an interval of 5 to 8 years, whereas the highest 1,000 Naira, 500 Naira and the 200 Naira denominations have spent a period of 15, 16 and 20 years in circulations respectively. He, however, urged Nigerian traders to focus more on the features put in place by his bank to enable them to identify and distinguish between the CBN's note and the counterfeit ones, admonishing the traders to still consider the old Naira note of 1,500 and the 200 Naira denomination as valid legal tenders. Oseni stated that the CBN has instructed all commercial banks in the country not to close shops but continually attend to customers till the midnight of 31st of January 2023. Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State has promised to provide more fiscal infrastructure, social amenities and human capital development if re-elected for a second term. He made the commitment at an event to mark the commencement of his gubernatorial campaign at the Gamawa local government area of the state. Addressing a mammoth crowd at the rally, Governor Mohammed said his administration had succeeded in fulfilling most of its promises and therefore outlined new policies and programs to consolidate on their achievements. According to the governor, in the first term of his government, towns and villages have been opened up with new roads, constructed hundreds of primary and secondary healthcare facilities and blocks of classrooms, and empowered thousands of people from all the 20 local government areas of the state. He attributed the success recorded to the support received from traditional institutions, religious and community leaders, groups and individuals. In their separate remarks, the state PDP chairman Alhaji Hamza Koshi Akwai, Director General of the Governor's 2023 Gubernatorial Campaign Council Farouk Mustafa, and other PDP chieftains expressed hope that all the parties' candidates will emerge victorious during the election. The governor had earlier visited places of district heads of Udobo and Gamawa to seek for their blessings. The People's Democratic Party has set a February 25 date for the presidential and National Assembly elections remain sacrosanct. It said attempts by the ruling All Progressives Congress to orchestrate violence to cause a constitutional crisis in order to cling to power will fail. National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Honorable Debo Ologunagba, said this at an ongoing media briefing in Abuja. He explained that while the PDP was busy campaigning and preparing for elections, the APC was busy scheming to unleash violence and armed twist the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) into shifting the elections. Ologunagba explained that the APC and its leaders have been engaged in a series of conducts and utterances which are clear indications that the party is not prepared for the forthcoming elections. Speaking further, he said the party was made aware of subterranean moves by the APC over the Borno Central Senatorial District election. A father, his wife and 2 children have died when fire gutted their residence in Zaria, Kaduna State on Friday. While confirming the incident to journalists, the Zaria Zone Commander of the Kaduna State Fire Service, Muhammad Umar, identified the family members as Muhammad Sani, Raulatu, his wife, and their 2 children, Hashim and Fatima. He said the fire service was called when the fire had already destroyed a large part of the family's house located at Hajia Maitu Street, Locust, Zaria. He, however, said that their coming had stopped the fire, which occurred around 1 a.m. from affecting all the houses in the area. It was gathered that the late Muhammad Sani, who was an imam in the community, and his family members were buried by their relatives in Zaria, according to Islamic rites. The Nigerian National Petroleum Commission Limited (NNPCL) has announced plans to drill the fourth oil well in Nasarawa State in March 2023 in continuation of its oil exploration activities in the country's inland basins. Group Chief Executive Officer of the country, Malam Mele Kari, who disclosed this when the Governor of the state, Engineer Abdullahi Suley, led a delegation of prominent indigents of Nasarawa on a courtesy visit to the NNPC Limited in Abuja, said that results of exploratory activities confirmed the presence of substantial hydrocarbon resources in the state. This was disclosed on Friday by the Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPCL, Garbuddin Mohammed. In a statement, Kari called for prompt action on the project as the global energy transition has led to a reduction in investment in fossil fuels. Malam Kari added that community support and a conducive environment were key to a successful operation in the area in order to avoid their experience of the Niger Delta. In his response, Governor Suley congratulated the GCEO on the successful commencement of oil production at the Kolomani Integrated Development Project, which was launched in November 2022 by President Muhammadu Buhari, which he described as similar to what obtains in Saudi Arabia. A combined team of Guards Brigade and the Civilian Joint Task Force CJTF have killed 2 bandits and rescued 30 kidnapped victims during a raid on kidnappers' enclave in the general area of Idu Chikara, along the boundaries of Toto local government area of Nasarawa State and Abaji Area Council in the Federal Capital Territory FCT and Kotun Karfe in Kogi State. A statement by the Assistant Director, Army Public Relations Guard Brigade, Captain Godfrey Abaka, said the operation was carried out by 177 Guards Battalion in conjunction with troops of Operation Wild Struck and CJTF as part of Guards Brigade's responsibility to ensure adequate security within its areas of responsibility and to stamp out incessant kidnapping, to protect lives and properties of law-abiding citizens in FCT and neighboring states. He said during the joint operations, the troops with superior firepower subdued its bandits and subdued the bandits, and neutralized 2 of them, while several others escaped with gunshot wounds. The troops also rescued 30 civilians who had been held captive by the bandits, adding that unfortunately a member of the cat field sustained a minor injury and is currently stable and receiving proper medical care at the hospital. He said the rescued civilians have since been profiled by the Nigerian Police Division in total local government area of Nasarawa State, while the state government has also facilitated their safe reunion with their communities and families respectively. The troops also recovered 1 rapid-propelled grenade tube from the criminals and several military uniforms. A 23-year-old student of the Kwara State Polytechnic Ilorin Awole Joshua Oluwatofumi have been arrested by the State Police Command for allegedly swindling an African-American lady, Vona Polos Moss, from the state of India in America. Awole, a suspected internet fraudster, allegedly lured the victim to Ilorin from America under the pretext of being an American citizen, parading the suspect in Ilorin on Friday at the State Police Command headquarters. The police Commissioner Paul Odama disclosed that preliminary investigation revealed that Awole, who is a suspected internet fraudster, presented himself to the victim on TikTok, a social media platform, as an American by the name Howard Adams, and raped her of about $1,000. The police commissioner said the suspect also deceitfully took an unspecified amount of American dollars from the victim before she was rescued by police operatives of the state command. Paul Odama revealed that the necessary authorities have been contacted for appropriate action, adding that the rescued victim have been moved to secure custody by the State Police Command pending her return trip to the United States of America. The police commissioner vowed to ensure justice is served to serve as deterrent to would-be criminals in the internet fraud business, which he lamented has dented the image of the country in the Committee of Nations globally. Answering a question, Paul Odama assured that the matter will not be handed over to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. And on the foreign scene, the Ghanaian government, in conjunction with trade unions, have agreed to increase the salaries of all public servants by 30% for 2023. This was disclosed in a joint statement, according to Al Jazeera, as the country struggles to reduce debt and tackle rampant inflation. The cedi dropped heavily against the US dollar last year as government spending cuts and central bank interest rate hikes failed to tame the spiraling inflation, which rose to a new high of 54% last month. It was gathered that the trade unions in the country, who represent public servants, started negotiating salary rises with the government in November, with the two parties settling on a 30% increase across board on Thursday, effective from January 1, 2023. The negotiations started a few months after hardship spurred street protests that pushed the government to seek help from the International Monetary Fund. In March of 2022, Ghana announced spending cuts, which include lowering a minister's salary. The West African country is battling its worst economic crisis in a generation, with inflation hovering at a record 50.3%, the highest in 21 years. With this story, we've come to the end of our bulletin for today. You can follow us on our social media handles at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I am Ruqayyat Sani Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.
Unity.